Here's some other changes that are coming with the Department of Revenue in 2015. Anybody who's done individual income tax online with one of the big filing companies where you send it and then you get acknowledgement, that's bulk file or me file. We've always had that. We've also had payroll companies that do bulk filing for withholding tax. Starting in 2015, we're going to have the ability for bulk filing for TPT. So if you have a company or a software company that you work with, they may solicit you to come on board with their bulk filing. It'll be by jurisdiction first, which means each city, county, that it'll change toward the end of the year to a more specific way of filing that we're going to go forward with. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, I don't see any rotten vegetables, so I'll go on with the next part. This part is not all that popular when I say it. One of the things happening for 2015 is a standardization of the business codes. That's not the part people don't like. A code is going to be the same for the state and the cities when the tax base is the same. So if you're a contractor under 015, it'll be 015 everywhere you are. I was very surprised to find that some of the cities gave you different codes. Like 010 if you're a retailer, which for us, that is not retail. It makes it hard for businesses if they look at our rate table and they see they're 015 and then they go to a different city, they assume they're 015 there too, and then they're not. And imagine the poor guy that has to do, well, I don't have to say imagine, some of you might be that. You have to do multiple returns, and every one of those cities has a different code for you. It's kind of like Simon Says, you have to stand on one foot, and oh goodness. So this will make that easier. In a situation where the tax base is not similar, there'll be a unique city code. And I have an example of what the rate table will look like. And I'm going to point it out because it's low and I'm short. And I know you guys are primarily maybe contractors, but there might be some retailers. Down here, retail sales, food for home consumption. In the past, retail food for home consumption was just a subtraction in 017 retail. It'll still be for the counties a subtraction, but for paying it for a city that now collects tax for food for home consumption, it'll go under 062. It makes it a little easier for people to report things that they keep separate. And if you've ever gone to any grocery store and you look, there's a state total of tax and a city total of tax and then a combined list. This just makes it easier for all that to report and be followed. One of the things that we found is that every city had 000, which was privilege tax. And they stuck everything in there. However, sometimes the cities would have elected a different tax rate for one particular thing, and they didn't necessarily give it its own business code. So this makes it easier for us to be able to enact things like where a city says, okay, we're going to lower the tax on food for home consumption. Our normal is 2%, but we're going to now lower food for home consumption to 1%. This makes it easier for those kind of adjustments. And you might remember, City of Phoenix just did that. They had 2%, now it's down to 1%, and it's going away next year. Those kind of things are the kind of things cities can do. So by building this out, it makes it more robust for those kind of changes. It makes it easier for somebody doing business to be able to look at the menu and know what it is that they have to do to charge the right tax rate. Because if they undercharge, who makes up that difference? The business. Yeah. Okay. Other things. This is the one people hate. I'm just going to say it. If you are somebody using the miscellaneous deduction codes 888 and 999, get out of the habit, because we are going to be ending them and they will not be allowed in 2015. There are people using them for no apparent reason other than that it's convenient. I've also had people say to me in these meetings, well, I'm just not going to fill in the Schedule A. I have some horrible news for you. The Schedule A amounts are going to be matched to the amounts of deductions you're taking on the front. And like any other accounting or tax kind of thing, it should add up. And if it doesn't, you'll either get contacted by our error resolution area who goes, oh, the math's not quite right, what's up? Or in the case of there being nothing there at all, you will get a letter that says you're being billed because we've added your deductions back. If you're going to take them, be proud, tell us what they are. 888 and 999 do not need to exist anymore because we went through, and by the way, on our website, azdor.gov, top thing on the left-hand side is TPT simplification. When you click on it, you'll have a drop-down that comes out, and it shows you standardized business codes and deduction codes. There's an actual huge document. What we did is we went through the Model City Tax Code and Arizona Revised State Statute. We matched it all up. We matched it to the actual tax classifications, and there are now 263 separate deductions that are for every possible thing that you are allowed a deduction for. Does that mean everyone in the room is going to have to use all 263? Yeah, I'm thinking not. I'm pretty sure not. Because like some of them are things like for hospitals, durable goods sales. So if you're not selling durable goods to a tax-exempt hospital, you never need to know it. Just like the old deduction codes that you guys were using all the time, there'll be some favorites that you memorize the code number for. One of them is going to be tax factored and collected. For retailers, it'll be sales for resale. Things like that. You'll know your old favorites. We also have broken down the list by business classification. So if you're a retailer, you don't need to look at the restaurant pile. If you're a construction person, you don't need to look at the telecommunications stack. There'll be some that just don't apply to you. You'll get to know your own little set. If you have questions, holler. Interestingly enough, you'll see as part of the display when you bring it up, it'll have the code, it'll have a number for the deduction, and then the deduction at the end will have a page number reference. The reference goes to a 57-page document, which is all of the statutes and Model City Tax Code, and it'll tell you what page number the reference is for, and then on that page, you'll see the code number, so you can go read exactly why it is or what is exempt under that code. I like it. It's not pretty. It's not all super slick looking. It's a little clunky because it's 57 pages, but it works. And for the first time, I understand some deductions better, and I've been there forever. There's some that people would ask me, especially with mining and timbering, I'd be like, give me a minute, because some of them are tricky. Those lists are available right now at azdor.gov under the TPT Simplification tab. As long as I'm talking about that TPT Simplification tab, let me tell you something. Everything that we have that comes out is going to go there first. It'll be where it belongs, but it'll go there first, like forms. There's a form out there right now, and when you click on the TPT Simplification tab, you'll see it says forms. And then there's one that says notices and announcements. And then there's the deduction codes. Every form that comes out as we go forward for the next year or so will have a home there, and also like in the form section. But we thought it was important to put it under TPT Simplification so you guys know where to look.